Hello, Potato, and may the 4th be with you, because today is the 4th of May, Star Wars Day, the most Hallmark holiday of any Hallmark holidays. It's a holiday predicated entirely upon us going out and buying stuff from a particular intellectual property. And being the good little consumer that I am, I did exactly that. Lego released a bunch of new Star Wars kits this week, and I went and picked up a few of them. Not so much just because to celebrate Star Wars Day, but because there were promo items, and I do love me a good promo item. And so I did go and buy things. You know, there's no rush in really buying any of the normal kits being released. None of them are limited edition. They're all going to be available for the next couple of years. But the promo kits, the gift with purchases, those are available this week only. Although by now, they might be gone. By the time you watch this video, they may be gone. Now, this video is not about those, though. If you're interested in the gift with purchases and you haven't looked them up yourself for some reason and haven't bought them yourself, those will be in Saturday's video for Weekend Magic. We'll do a Star Wars Day kind of loot haul, which will be mostly Lego, because anything from Shop Disney won't have arrived by then. But I picked up a couple of kits at the Lego store, and we're going to put one of those together today. We are going to celebrate Star Wars Day by putting together Kit 75352, the Emperor's Throne Room, released in celebration of the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So they did 40th anniversary releases for Empire and for Jedi. I don't think they did for New Hope, though. I know I have at least one piece like this for Emperor. It was in the R2-D2 kit that came out that year. And this piece actually seems to come in a few kits that were released on Monday. But I don't think there was a New Hope kit that had pieces like this in it. Which, I mean, is, you know, unfortunate, but they just hadn't thought about it at the time. But this is 807 pieces. That's an 18 and up kit, not because there's anything inappropriate, or I would think even that difficult in it. It's just, this isn't a play with kit. I don't think there's any action functions in here. I mean, at least last year, the trash compactor had the ability to, you know, close the walls in, although it should have been by like a knob or crank, like we saw used in the Indiana Jones Temple of the Idol, but they didn't do that. This one, though, I think has no play functions at all, but you do have the big climactic duel between Luke and Vader. You have the Emperor. I think this is a new hairpiece for Luke, too. Oh, by the way, speaking of hairpieces, the Lego store was giving out hairpieces, so there's the Luke hair in action. I also got a Leia one. We'll look at that in Saturday's video. So here you can see like a comparison between the on-screen version and the Lego version. Obviously the perspective's a little off. The window's not quite to scale. Some things just don't translate to Lego very well, or at least not exactly. I'm not saying it doesn't translate well, just not the same scale. And I believe you can also, there's no picture on here. Oh, no, there is. Here you go. Nope, that is the wrong way around. But you can do that shot of staring out the Death Star window, which would be maybe the less attractive way to display this, but I think that means we are going to have theming on the other side of this. It's not just going to be like a flat brick wall with nothing there, like we saw on, say, the outside of Bro Thor's room, the backside of the Ghostbusters firehouse, or indeed the backside of the Indiana Jones Golden Temple. Because, of course, that's where all the mechanics were. You wouldn't want to show that side anyhow. So I figure at 800 pieces, this should take, probably a couple hours of real time. Obviously much shorter for you, because you're going to see it in the fast forward. Of course, and like the dioramas from last year, and indeed the Indiana Jones diorama, we do have a quote. "I am a Jedi, like my father before me, Luke Skywalker." So let's punch it open. Punch in those thumb punches and see what all we have in here. You'd thought for something like this they could have done a normal box, not a thumb punch, but you know. Tag 3. 5. Looks like there's Emperor's head maybe in that one. So do we not see the Emperor till section 5? 2, 1, whoa. We have, where does this go? Oh, around the window. This little straw is going to go around that window there and I think that's it. And we're going to have stickers in here because I know that plate is, oh, there's another tube. That's a longer tube. Maybe that's the one that goes around the window and this one goes somewhere else. Okay, there has to be stickers in here because I'm sure that the quote plate is not a printed piece, because that would be too nice. That'd be too much. That'd be too grand for us plebeians. Is it in the book, maybe? And of course, again, we have, as we have for years now, the bit about you may have paper and plastic, but I don't. I have not ever had a set with paper in it. They keep saying it's going to happen, and I don't not believe them. But you know, you've literally been telling me for years that I should be getting a mix of paper and plastic in these boxes, and it just doesn't happen. We do have another brick separator, which is good, because you know, I need more of those. I really do need to figure out something to do with a build involving brick separators. We have words here. I suppose I will read the words, although you probably can't read them on screen. Sealing the destiny of the galaxy. As we approach the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, our focus inevitably turns to the ultimate battle scene of the original trilogy. The final confrontation between Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Emperor Palpatine definitively seals the fate of the characters and the galaxy. A devastating terror sinks in when Luke realizes his friends and the Alliance may have lost. Defying torturous threats, Luke cements his Jedi title as he refuses to join the dark side, and Darth Vader eyes a chance for redemption and reconciliation. I am a Jedi, like my father before me! 75352 Emperor's Throne Room Diorama. The LEGO Star Wars Diorama Collection is inspired by and dedicated to Star Wars fans and our favorite defining moments in the saga. Capture the electrifying forces from both the dark side and the light on the terrifying and fully operational Death Star. Jens Kronvold Fredrickson, creative director at LEGO Star Wars. And then we have the same in French and Spanish. We have their names: La Salle du Trône del Emperor and Sala del Trono del Emperador. I've murdered both of those. I can murder words in every language. Oh, we have more things though. We have more words. I'm not going to read all the words though. That's a lot of words. But we have staging the scene. So we have like the movie version. We have the LEGO version. We're going to have some lightning energy there. And we have our instructions for our brick separator. How many steps are we going to have in this build? 176 it looks like. Oh, is there a barcode? Barcode? QR code. QR code. Got to show the QR code in case you want to follow along at home, because the booklet's available in English on there. Not available in English here, thankfully. That's wouldn't want that. So yeah, we have section 1 here. None sections look terribly large. There's be some good like stopping points if you need to go to the bathroom or something. But I think I can get this all in one go. Maybe. We'll find out. It'll all be one video in any case. So look at the beginning is going to be building the base. And I guess we'll go from, that's why so many black pieces here. I mean, not that LEGO Star Wars is generally a very colorful line anyways. If you like black and gray, LEGO Star Wars is definitely for you. If you want some color, you may want to go maybe look at Marvel and DC. You get a little more color there. Of course, if you really want color, you got to abandon minifigures. Go check out Friends, because they have the color. But yeah, let's start off at the beginning in part 1 and move into the fast forward. See you on the other side. And there we have it, Kit 75352, the Emperor's Throne Room from Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi. 40 years. See, I waited and put the little plaque there on at the end. I felt last year when we did those plaque ones, the dioramas rather, that the plaque should really go on last. It should be the crowning piece, although I guess technically that probably should have been the crowning piece, but it was like the penultimate piece. So, an interesting build. I mean, I like the way we've gotten the kind of curved elements here. And so those straws are what's holding together the window. Now I had wondered how we were going to get this shape out of Lego. Lego's not generally known for being round. And I feel like we got there. However, I'd also feel, so this is held on by like clipped to that little straw piece. There's two of them, the big one on that end and the little one holding the center. And then this piece, the actual window, isn't really held in at all. It's just kind of sitting there loose, just kind of resting in these two claws down here at the bottom and held in place by these two prongs at the top. You want to make sure that you do rotate the window in a way that it kind of hides those from the inside. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that's kind of held together by willpower. And I don't think, I feel like years of this sitting on a shelf, even in ideal conditions inside, out of sunlight, in a temperature controlled setting, I feel like we're gonna get some failure up in here. Like one day I'm gonna go to dust it and the windows are gonna fall off. But I mean, I guess that's something to worry about down the road. I mean, possibly just like a year or two, thinking of some kits I've had issues with in the past. So the outside's not as well themed as I was kind of thinking it would be, because I was kind of thinking they would do it so we could get like this shot of, you know, the Emperor just looking out the window there, or Vader. And no, not so much, because honestly, actually, that big 2x2 in the center of the window also kind of, I think, ruins the effect of that shot. So yeah, this is kind of just the way you're going to do it for display. Now, a neat thing is, you may have noticed in the video that ending down the box, it shows that the Emperor has his lightning, so you can have him attack Luke with it. And I had wondered, you know, what were they doing with it, because it's not shown in like the basic version of the diorama. And what they did, if I can get this off, there we go, is they've put a place right there in the diorama to store those so you don't lose them. So that's actually a really nice feature. I like that they've thought that through. So overall, kind of a plain set with just some interesting building techniques, ones I haven't done before. The windows haven't done before. This kind of thing with the, I've done sort of like that in like smaller scale, I think in some of the modular building sets, but never as much as I have here. And this is another thing that's, it's not, again, this isn't a play with set, this is meant to go on a shelf and just kind of be in a pose. But this is only held on like mostly here. I think there's a couple spots on the sides it's connected, but this is not really held on very well at all. It's, again, there's a lot of willpower in this set. I think they've gotten the curving very nicely done, although I don't think that's exactly airtight. But a lot of it is, I think, fairly delicate. It's not gonna take much in the way of handling, but again, it's not meant to be handled very much. It's meant to just be up on a shelf. So we have Luke. Luke has, I think, a much shaggier hairdo than we've seen in past. Do I have a Luke handy? No, I don't have a Luke or a Vader particularly at hand, so we can't compare them. Maybe we'll do that sometime in the future, but I feel like this hairpiece is a lot shaggier than past Luke's. We do have two faces. We have a kind of determined face and a moderately smiley face, which I don't feel has any real place in this kit. There's no scenario in which Luke is going to be looking even remotely happy in this. He's got the little scar on his chin there. Put you back. I guess it's supposed to be the cleft. I don't know. Looks like a scar to me. Then we have Vader. Vader only has the one face, but it's the newer Vader with the two-piece helmet. So take the top off, it does leave the bottom part of the helmet there, which I think is actually screen accurate. Only one face, because I mean, you're not going to see it much anyways. The mask makes for a second face. Nicely sculpted, nicely printed. The cape is softer than some of the other ones I've dealt with. I feel like I've made that comment before though. But the capes on this are kind of nice and soft. They're not those like really firm ones that we've had. I think like some of the DC blind bag set had a lot of inflexible cloaks, capes. And then we have the Emperor, who also gets two faces. We have his just kind of evil face and his triumphantly evil face. And he gets a little hood to make him look good and proper. And I do like the way the throne is done. Again, the throne is very delicate. There's like only one point of connection there. There's only a couple points of connections on the arms there. It's all stuff that I feel like could be knocked apart very easily by like I just did to the chair there. Hold on. I've knocked the back off the chair because, like I was saying, this is not a kit constructed for handling. Can we get that back? I shoved him back. I think I sat him back too far. I think that's our problem. Because if you push him back too far, his head hits the overhang on the chair, which I feel like that's kind of an issue. It seems like his chair should allow him to put his head all the way back, but what do I know? I am hardly a Lego master builder. There we go. So he can egg Vader and Luke on, because no matter who wins, he wins. At least in his estimation. Obviously, things don't necessarily work out that way. Also, I want to adjust that cape a little bit, but that's fine for the moment. For the rest of the video, the cape being bunched up like that is fine, but I will need to get in there with something and kind of push that down. So this is the bigger of the two dioramas. I did also pick up the speeder bike one. We'll look at that a little bit in Saturday's video, but I don't know when I'll put it together or if I'll put it together. I gotta find room to put these things. But I do like this one. I do think this is a really nice iconic scene. It's a little plain. I think we're gonna see people complaining that there's not a whole lot going on here. I feel like there was a lot more detail in last year's Dagobah Swamp and trash compactor scenes. This is a lot more just kind of stark than those were. I feel like you probably could have done some more with pieces up the edge here, like, you know, the stuff that they throw at each other during their force battle. But overall, it's nice, it's clean. Some interesting building techniques used in it. Again, ones that I really don't think I've used before for the most part, certainly not to this extent. And it took me a couple of hours to build, which is what I was expecting. I kind of thought when, you know, bags 4 and 5 were so kind of half empty, I didn't think it would take so long, but that part probably took the longest to put together this window. Just because there's a lot of small fiddly bits in it, but also you just got to get it on there just right so it clips onto those straws. And again, I do feel, jump ahead a few years, and this is probably going to fall apart. I feel like things are going to dry out, weaken, crack. Also, weird thing is, some pieces felt like they didn't really want to go together. Like, it felt a little off for Lego. You know how Lego generally like makes a big deal about how everything is tested and retested and everything is meant to fit to certain specific specifications. I feel like that's not going on here. Particularly putting the little blue glowy bits here on those clips felt like they weren't quite the right sizes. I mean, they fit on there, but like there was like a squeaking on some of them that just didn't feel right. And I had that happen a few other places as well, where it didn't feel like things were fitting together quite the way I expect Lego to fit. And for $100, I do kind of expect a kit that's, you know, less than 1,000 pieces, less than 1,000 pieces by a lot, less than 900 pieces, just a little over 800 pieces, and that's probably counting all the little extras they drop in there. I feel like I expected a little bit better than that. But overall, I'm not upset. I am happy with the way it looks, and I think it does capture that iconic scene quite nicely. And again, we have that lovely little 40th Return of the Jedi piece in there, which only a few sets are going to have. But with this, I will wrap this video up. If you haven't done your Star Wars Day Lego purchases yet, check and see if the promo kits are still available. If there's no promo kits available, I wouldn't bother. I mean, I wouldn't bother necessarily now, unless, you know, like you wanted to buy a kit now. But they're, you know, these are going to be available for a while. Pretty sure I saw last year's, at least the Trench Run, still sitting on the shelf in Lego Store when I bought this. So it's not like these are going to disappear, you know, super quickly. Just, you know, no rush to get them unless you can get those good promo kits. Those promo kits are pretty, well, kit. I mean, one of them is nice. The other one's not Lego. We'll go over that in Saturday's video. But yeah, I will wrap this up here. I hope you found this all interesting and entertaining. Overall, I do like the kit. I feel it's a little lacking in some ways, but it's still a good capturing of one of the more iconic sequences in the original trilogy. Certainly one of the more climactic sequences in those films, and certainly in this film, being as it is the climax of the film. But some challenging parts to build on it. I do like the new hairpiece on Luke there. Hope we'll be seeing more of that. I like there was no stickers. Those were printed pieces, which I'm always happy when a kit has no stickers in it. Is it worth $100? That is a personal question. Obviously, I felt it was because I bought it, but also I got those promo kits with it, and that was, that gets factored into the price as far as I'm concerned. But with that, I will thank you for watching again. I think I already thanked you for watching, but I'll thank you again. I hope you found it at all interesting and entertaining. If you did, give it a like. And may the 4th be with you always, or, well, at least till midnight, then it'll be Cinco de Mayo. But have a happy rest of your Star Wars day, and I will see you in the next video.